Tormented bosses are amazing. Level 200 monsters that actually put up quite the fight and a challenge for solo players. But there's also already a problem with them that needs to be addressed. Step 1. How do you summon a tormented boss? You go to their respective dungeon, like the Hall of the Penitent for Grégoire, or below the Tree of Whispers for Varshan. Interact with their altar, and then you can toggle between the two. You can see the summoning materials are 25 living steel and 3 Stygian stone, where the first is really easy to acquire. The second one takes quite a while. And now during the fight, we'll talk about the problems of tormented bosses. Let's first talk about the summoning material itself. 25 living steel. That is not super hard to acquire. It's 5 living steel chests, or if you're lucky to get a double living steel chest, that'll go up to 10. But as a solo player, again, quite the time investment. If you're 4 players now, it is super fast to get them together. Now, I personally believe that the tormented bosses are just so much more fun to actually fight solo, because they're quite cool. And the first time you beat one of them, you get a resplendent spark. That is the material to craft an uber unique. So that is cool. But now let's think about it. We need the materials to summon 5 Grégoires to get 1 Super Grig. That means we're getting only 1 single shard of agony from him. And you need 2 shards of agony to summon a Duriel. So instead of now summoning 1 ginormous Super Grig, I could summon 5 smaller Grigs. And each of these 5 smaller Grigs has a small chance for Uber Unique dropping, while they do also every single time drop a shard of agony. That means I might have more fun fighting the 200 Grig, but from a loot and boss ladder perspective, I'm quite throwing materials away, and that feels a little bit stupid because fighting the bigger boss should be better for me because it is harder and a challenge, and it shouldn't be worse for me. Now the loot is quite amazing from the super tormented Grig. I mean, he's dropping 4 to 5 uniques, but then again, that's the same as actually killing 5 single Grigs. So they created like this level 200 boss, and it's a cool challenge and quite the intriguing fight. And as I understood, it has double the drop chance of an uber unique as Duriel has. But I'm also missing out on 2.5 Duriels for double the drop chance, because I could have gotten 5 shards of agony for Duriel. So right now there is any reason, any good kind of sense missing to actually fight these tormented bosses. Yes, you want to fight 1 single one once to get that resplendent spark, that you only need 3 more to craft an uber unique. And now if Uber Lilith gives you one of those sparks too, and finishing the seasonal journey gives you another one, that would make 3 sparks. Then you only need 1 more to craft an uber unique of your choice. That would quite make sense. Now, I will say that personally for me, fighting this tormented boss has been one of the best times I've had in Diablo in the past 6 months, simply because it is quite the challenge. And I want to beat every single tormented boss at least once, just to see if I have it. I tried to kill him first with an absolute under-equipped, under-geared character, and boy, it was rough. Now that my character is better and has all the master workings and quite some cool stuff going on, sure, it is way easier, but still a challenge and fun to actually fight against. So in the department of creating an interesting endgame thing to work towards to actually beat, that is definitely a success on Blizzard's side. But if you pair this now again with the huge cost of materials, yes, materials now drop in the overworld. A normal chest can drop them, normal bosses can drop them. I've been doing Helltide and I killed the dude that attacks you after your Hellmarked meter fills up. 2 exquisite blood. I've gotten 18 exquisite blood Lord Zir materials just from playing the Helltide. But you need 45 exquisite blood to summon Lord Zir. 45. You get 3 exquisite blood per world boss. I mean, getting these materials alone together for some of these tormented bosses will be nigh impossible. But fighting them once each solo is definitely something I have on my bucket list that I will want to beat them. How do we fix this issue now with the tormented boss not being worth it currently? There's 2 approaches we can take. First, you could just have him drop 5 shards of agony. I mean, it's 5 Griggs in one, that's 5 shards of agony. Keep in mind here that usually a normal Grig has a chance to even drop a double shard. So if you summon 5 single ones, you could not only get 5, you could get up to 8 or 10. Still making the tormented version drop more shards would at least not feel like you're throwing materials out of the window, because you shouldn't be punished for trying to have more fun. Another approach would be severely nerfing the summoning. Right now it's 25 living steel for 5 uniques. If you cut the drops in half, that he only drops 2 or 3 uniques maximum, because he is actually more challenging to kill than a normal one, and you drop down the summoning cost to 10 or 15, then I wouldn't even mind only getting 1 shard of agony, because I would trade getting 1 shard of agony instead of 2 for getting potentially 1 unique more, because 2 Griggs is 2 uniques, 1 tormented Grig would be 3 uniques then, and it would only cost me 10 living steel to summon. I would essentially trade 1 shard of agony for 1 more unique drop rate while actually having fun. And that is only for Grig, because again, 10 living steel is easy to get even 25. And for Varshan, you need 5 of each summoning material. That is also okay. But getting 45, again, 45 Blood of Lord Zur, that's not going to happen. That's simply going to take forever. As a third potential option, you could give them a big Resplendent Spark drop chance. Not an uber unique drop chance, right? Because that would make getting uber uniques then too easy. I mean, it's not hard, right? You just kill Duriel 500 times and you have them. But if you give the Tormented Bosses a Resplendent Spark drop chance, even 50%, either it drops or it doesn't, right? Then it would be fun doing them, because you could work towards an uber unique, but you would still have to get 4 of them, right? So if I have to summon 4 tormented Griggs, that's 100 living steel, the equivalent of 20 normal Griggoires. And if those 4 Griggs now have a 50% drop chance, I might have to summon 8 tormented Griggs to get my 4 Resplendent Sparks. That would be 200 living steel. That's 14 normal Griggs. That would take a significant amount of time, but it still would be something to work towards to know that I'm getting the Resplendent Sparks, to still have them actually have a uber unique drop chance, and then I can craft whatever I want. I would quite like that, and it gives Tormented Bosses a bigger meaning. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? How would you solve this issue? Drop the feedback in the description below so we can give it to Blizzard, because like this, Tormented Bosses can't stay. If you want to see the summon build we're playing right now to absolutely destroy this, check it out. Enjoy.